"We've decided you're no longer part of the family," my mom texted. "Don't show up to any gatherings." My sister liked the message. I responded, "Got it, thanks. I'll stop all automatic payments." By 12:03 a.m., the chat exploded with frantic texts and chaos. I was so angry I could barely think straight. Not sad, not shocked, just pure cold rage. These people, my parents, my sister, were narcissists in the most textbook way. Everything I did for them, every sacrifice I made was expected, never appreciated. They never once stopped to think about how much of my life I had given up just to keep theirs from falling apart. And now they were cutting me off. The message came in at 11:51 p.m. on a random Tuesday. I was brushing my teeth when my phone lit up. "We've agreed you're out of the family. Don't come to any events." My sister hearted it. Not a single explanation, just that. Like it was some kind of official announcement from the royal court. I stood there staring at the screen, not even surprised, just furious. The kind of fury that feels like heat in your chest. I replied, "Thanks for confirming. I'll cancel all the auto payments." And I meant it. Every single one. They must have thought I was bluffing because the first few minutes were silent. Then at 12:03 a.m., the family group chat went insane. I sat on the edge of my bed watching the screen light up like a fire alarm. Text pouring in. "What are you doing? This is insane. Don't touch anything until we talk. Are you seriously doing this right now?" They had no clue what they just triggered. Let me back up. My parents hit financial ruin about 6 years ago. Bankruptcy, foreclosure warnings, bill collectors calling at all hours. I was 26 and just starting to stabilize financially after years of grinding. And when they called crying, I stepped in quietly. No drama. I put the utilities in my name. I paid off the last $12,000 on the property tax so the house wouldn't get seized. I moved their car insurance under my policy because theirs had lapsed. I paid off their credit card debt because my mom said she couldn't sleep at night. They promised they'd pay me back. That was 5 years ago. And then came Kayla, the golden child, the one who apparently wasn't supposed to struggle like I did. I paid for her first 3 years at a private college, $18,000 a year, without ever getting so much as a birthday card from her. She didn't work. Didn't even pretend to be grateful, but every time tuition came due, I paid it because that's what family does, right? Then a few weeks ago, I told her I'd only be covering half of her final semester. She didn't say anything at first, just said, "Okay," and hung up. The next day, I got a group call from my parents. They were furious. How could I abandon her now? After everything. Didn't I realize how damaging it would be to stop midway? I told them I had other financial goals. Maybe a house, maybe starting a business, and I couldn't keep putting myself last. Their response, "You owe this family more than that." That sentence stuck with me, so I paid the half, $6,800, and told them it was the last time. Sent the receipt to the family chat and wrote, "This is it. I'm done." No one replied. For 10 days, the chat was silent. Then came the message from my mom. "We've agreed you're out of the family." They really thought they could excommunicate me while living in the house I saved from auction. Driving the car I paid off, streaming Netflix on the Wi-Fi I paid for. They thought they could keep all the benefits of me while stripping away the title of family. So I stripped away the benefits. I logged into every account, cut the utilities, removed them from my car insurance, canceled their phone plan, killed the internet, notified the county I was no longer paying the taxes. I even disabled the gas card they used to fill up their tanks. Every safety net gone. By morning, I had missed 17 calls. 3 voicemails. One from my dad, nearly unintelligible. One from Kayla sobbing. One from my mom demanding I undo whatever psychotic thing I had done before they were ruined. I ignored all of it. Took the day off work, got a coffee, sat in silence. They wanted to teach me a lesson. I had a few of my own to teach. And this was just the beginning. By the next morning, they'd realized what I meant when I said cancel all the auto payments. I didn't answer any of their calls. I let the voicemails pile up. I didn't care how urgent they sounded. They could scream into the void for all I cared. They had no idea how much I'd actually done for them over the years because I never kept score. But now I started adding it all up. The bills, the debt repayments, the tuition, the tax payments, the repairs on the house, the groceries I'd ordered when they claimed they had nothing to eat. The quiet Venmo transfers I'd sent Kayla when she wanted just $200 for textbooks, but posted Instagram stories from music festivals the same weekend. I sat down with a spreadsheet and itemized every single one of them. Receipts, bank transfers, emails, statements, everything. I wasn't just cutting them off. I was taking it all back. That night, I sent a PDF file to my parents' email. Subject line, final notice, outstanding balances. It was cold, legal sounding, a little corporate on purpose. It outlined every dollar they owed me, nearly $134,000 broken down by year, tuition payments, mortgage support, auto maintenance, groceries, insurance. Every line had a note, a date, and a total. I included a note at the bottom. This is not a request. You have 30 days to initiate a repayment plan before I proceed with legal action. This email serves as formal notice. I also CC'd an attorney, not a bluff. My friend Julia works in family law and owed me a favor. She helped me draft the exact language I'd need to make it legally binding. 5 minutes after I hit send, I got a call from Kayla, declined. Then a text, "What is wrong with you? Are you seriously suing your own parents?" I didn't answer. I just watched as the panic spread. My dad emailed me a reply that started with, "Let's be reasonable," and ended with him trying to emotionally manipulate me into forgetting everything for the sake of family. He actually wrote, "You're acting like a stranger. You're better than this." I deleted it without reading the rest. Then came the retaliation. My mom posted a long passive-aggressive Facebook post about how some people forget who raised them and turn into monsters once they get a paycheck. I was tagged in it. My Aunt Gina, who always hated me for having boundaries, commented, "Disgusting behavior." I'd be ashamed. Except not everyone was on their side. I started getting private messages from relatives I hadn't spoken to in years. One cousin told me my parents had borrowed money from her parents a few years back and never paid it back either. Another uncle said he'd gone no contact with them after they tried to get him to co-sign a loan for Kayla's future. My grandfather, my mom's dad, called me personally. He asked me to send him the full invoice. Said he wanted to see something. 3 hours later, he messaged me again. All it said was, "You're doing the right thing. Don't stop now." That shook something loose in me. I wasn't crazy. I wasn't cruel. I was just the first one who finally said enough. By the end of the week, my parents had tried every angle. Guilt, shame, fake apologies, even an emergency family meeting invite that I never replied to. Kayla DM'd me a long voice note blaming me for her falling behind in school and threatening to sue me if she didn't graduate on time. The next day, I sent a second letter, this time from the actual lawyer. Certified mail, deadline in bold. Just like that, the dynamic shifted. My parents went silent. Kayla stopped posting online. The Facebook smear campaign vanished overnight. I got a text from my mom. Only, "Can we talk?" But talking was irrelevant now. This was about accountability. The silence stretched for 4 days, an eternity in my family. No calls, no texts, nothing. It felt like they were strategizing, plotting their next move. I could predict it. Guilt dressed up as reconciliation, manipulation posing as maturity. Right on cue, on the 5th day, my dad called from an unfamiliar number. I let it ring. He left a voicemail. "We're willing to settle this privately. No courts, no embarrassment. Let's talk like adults." As if this was a business transaction and not my entire 20s drained for people who'd trade me for a reality TV spot. Julia, my lawyer friend, advised me not to respond directly. So I didn't. Instead, she drafted a formal letter outlining my terms. Full repayment of the outstanding debt within 12 months. No contact from Kayla except through a legal representative. A signed acknowledgement of their financial responsibility for past support, and a clause barring them from seeking any future help from me. I didn't just send it to my parents. I sent it to the entire extended family. I knew exactly what I was doing. No more rewritten narratives. No more whispers painting me as the ungrateful daughter. I included the original invoice, payment breakdowns, and the legal letter, emailing every aunt, uncle, cousin, and grandparent they'd ever badmouthed me to. I didn't add a single word of explanation. Within hours, 6 relatives called, shocked, saying they had no idea. Some even offered to testify if it went to court. Turns out, my parents had been borrowing, and not repaying, from others too. I wasn't the first, just the first to push back this hard. Kayla, predictably, went ballistic. She messaged me from a burner Instagram account. No apologies, just venom. She accused me of ruining her future, claimed I was jealous of her success, and said I'd always been bitter because mom and dad never loved you like they loved me. That made me laugh. I screenshotted her messages and sent them to Julia. They went straight into the file. That night, my mom texted, "Please don't destroy this family." I didn't reply. I didn't destroy anything. They did. Every time they treated me like an ATM, every time they valued me only for what I could give. When the money stopped, so did their affection. The next day, their lawyer sent a formal offer, $40,000. I didn't flinch. Julia responded with a firm no, full amount or court. No settling for crumbs after a decade of being their human wallet. Then, something unexpected happened. My grandfather, the one who'd urged me to keep going, stepped in. He called my parents and said he was hiring a forensic accountant. If they didn't pay me back in full, he'd expose everything he knew. Apparently, they'd borrowed from him too, lying about the reasons. Suddenly, their tone shifted again. My dad emailed me. No caps lock, no accusations, just a desperate two-liner. "We'll pay. Please don't take this to court." But this wasn't about the money anymore. It was about setting the record straight. The formal agreement was drafted and sent. No more warm words. No pretending this was just a family matter. It was a legal document detailing the repayment plan. 12 months, monthly transfers, interest for late payments, and a clause stating that missing 2 payments in a row would trigger immediate legal action. They signed it. I didn't think they would, but they did. Probably banking on wiggling out of it later. They thought they were smarter than everyone, but I was already cutting them out. I owned their car titles and the house, still in my name because I didn't trust them with taxes. They didn't notice or care. With a legal repayment plan in place, I had leverage. Then, a bombshell. A New York law clerk called about my grandmother's estate. She left a $40,000 trust, but my mom forged my signature to cut me out. The money funded their kitchen remodel, marble counters, new appliances, hardwood floors. It wasn't a miracle, it was theft. I sent the documents to my lawyer, Julia. We added fraud, forgery, and inheritance theft to the case and froze their assets. My parents turned on each other. Dad claimed ignorance. Mom sent excuses. Kayla, who got her payout, stayed quiet. The probate court opened an investigation, froze Kayla's share, and suspended Mom's role as executor. Julia demanded restitution. Mom emailed the family, painting me as the villain. It backfired. My aunt called out the theft, and relatives exposed their pattern of lies, like Dad's fake medical emergency for a Maui trip. I stayed silent. Their actions spoke for me. Then Mom showed up at my apartment, begging to save the house for Kayla. They'd fallen behind on taxes after I stopped paying. I laughed and told her an eviction notice was coming. The house was mine. They never paid the mortgage after their bankruptcy. I reclaimed it, issued a 30-day notice, and they left without a fight. I sold the house in 3 months, clean and profitable. Mom's final email about forgiveness went to Julia, then the trash. The fraud case moved forward. Mom faces charges. Kayla's silent, her payout frozen. Relatives supported me quietly, but I'm not chasing family, just peace. My bank account's mine, my phone's quiet, and I sleep better. They cut me out of the family, and it was the best thing they ever did.